Okay, writing equations for real world problems. We're going to look at the pattern, figure out what's going on, and then try to write an equation that could solve our problem. So, John's lawn mowing service charges $10 for a job and 20 cents per square yard. If John earns $25 on one lawn, how many square yards of lawn did he mow? Write an equation and solve. So first we need to figure out our equation. Well, we know he earns $10 just for showing up to mow lawn. And then he earns an extra 20 cents per square yard. So 20 cents times the yards. And we know that on this one lawn he made $25. So when we add all that up, it's got to be equal to $25. So there's our equation. Okay. So just a couple things. Per is a keyword, usually means multiply. 20 cents per yard, 20 cents times the amount of yards. So that's something to look for. Okay, so now he makes $25 on this one lawn. We want to figure out how many square yards it was. So we're going to take our equation and solve for our variable y, which stands for square yards. So the first thing we have to do, remember, work in reverse order of operations. So we're going to subtract. So since this is a positive 10, we're going to subtract 10 because we're trying to get y by itself. Subtract 10 on both sides. 20 cents times y equals 15. And then we've already subtracted, so if we're working backwards, the next thing would be to multiply. So right here we've got 20 cents times y. The opposite of multiply is divide. So we're going to divide on both sides. And if we do 15 divided by 20 cents, we know that the square yards come out to 75. So this lawn was 75 square yards.
Let's look at another example.
Okay, so renting the ice rink for a birthday party costs $200 plus $4 per person. So plus and per person are important there. Sally rented the rink for a total cost of $344. How many people were at the birthday party? So first let's write an equation. We know it costs $200 plus, that's kind of obvious, plus means add, $4 per person. Now before we said per means multiply, so we're going to do 4 times the number of people. We don't know how many people, so I'm going to use a variable. Equals a total cost, that means equal to, of $344. Okay, that's our equation. Now let's solve it. So we've got 200 plus 4 times p equals 344. So if we subtract 200, because we're trying to get p by itself, it's like solving a two-step equation again. This cancels out. 4p equals 144. Okay, so if we're working in reverse order of operations, we subtracted, there's no adding to do. So next we would come to multiply and divide. Right here we've got 4 times p. The opposite is to divide by 4. And if we do 144 divided by 4, that means there were 36 people at the birthday party. That would be our answer. Okay, one last example here. Renting a car costs $55 per day plus $55 per day plus 45 cents per mile. Bob can spend $100 on a car rental. If Bob rents a car for one day, how many miles can he drive? Write an equation and solve. So usually our equation would be $55 per means multiplied, so times the number of days, plus 45 cents per means multiply times the number of miles. Okay, but Bob, we know, is only going to spend one day. So when we go to solve this, we can change our variable. Bob can spend $100 on the car rental. So the total can't be more than 100. So it has to be equal to 100. So let's try and solve this. we know it's $55 per day, but Bob's only renting it for 1 day. So we're going to replace D with 1. Plus 45 cents per mile, we don't know how far he can drive yet, equals 100. So 55 times 1 is just 55, plus 0.45 times the miles equals 100. So now we're solving our two-step equation again. Subtract 55, because we're trying to get m by itself. So this cancels out. 0.45 times miles equals 100 minus 55 is 45. So then we've got 0.45 times the miles. So the opposite would be to divide. So we're going to divide by 45 cents on both sides. This goes away. And if we divide 45 by 0.45, we get 100. So Bob can drive 100 miles in the 1 day that he's going to rent the car. Right? And that is writing equations to solve real world